Hey, what's up guys, it's Steve. This is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 17.01 or 17.1. So this review is by nerdsonchain.com. This is by Gerry Radick. So in the last issue of this arc, legendary Spidey writer Gary Conway returned with a storyline focusing on Spidey's vigilante ally, the Wraith, aka NYPD Captain Yuri Watanabe. When one of her closest fellow officers is gunned down by Tombstone, who subsequently gets off on a technicality, Watanabe begins to go down a spiral of vengeance. It was an excellent first installment to a 4-part arc, and I am happy to report that this issue reaches the same level of quality for the most part. The issue opens with the Goblin King and Hammerhead entering into, shall we say, negotiations to divide up territory. Though the meeting is broken up by Spider-Man, the two gang leaders get away, enabling them to meet later and duel to see who will claim the prize. It's a nice opener as scripted by Conway, with Peter being quippy and funny without being obnoxious. Meanwhile, after using info provided to her by crime lord Mr. Negative, Yuri is dealing with the fallout of her arrest of a judge she believes was working for Tombstone, her boss Justice, her for not following procedure, and brings into question the accuracy of her evidence. As the Spider-Man and the Wraith get caught in the middle of a gang war, Peter begins to see that Yuri may be going to an even darker place than revenge. Could she be planning to take over the streets and effort to keep them safe? And what role does Mr. Negative play in all this? The issue concludes just as satisfyingly as the previous one, and though I would never call this story groundbreaking or innovative, it does work on the pleasurable meat and potatoes manner of old school plotting. Conway keeps the narrative moving, deepens the characters and their relationships along the way, and deliver a couple of twists as well. It's kind of classic storytelling technique that is often lost in the age of decompression and multi-page fight scenes. And while this story does have a classic feel, it's not dated in any way. The art by Carlo Barberi remains solid, though it's oddly a violent issue in a way that I feel doesn't work. There's quite a bit of blood in the issue, and though I'm not a squeamish reader by any means, it just doesn't feel right here. There's a particular scene where I initially thought Hammerhead had gotten a wound in some non-existent panel, but it's actually someone else's blood. But it just doesn't look right. It's not so much the level of the violence, but rather the way it's drawn that feels off. It could be Israel Silver's colors, but I'm leaning toward the way the blood is actually drawn. It seems like a little thing, but it brought me out of this issue. Still, while this probably won't be on anyone's top 10 Spider-Man stories ever, it's confident, well executed story is a ton of fun to read, and I'll be excited to read this one. So I have already excited. I felt already exciting that thing, but yeah, you have to talk about the blood anyway. So here we go with the SuperiorSpiderTalk.com review by Dan Gvozden. So one of the traits I have always admired about Gerry Conway as a writer is just how much of a craftsman he's always been. Say what you will about some of the goofier concepts and characters that he's introduced into the world of Spider-Man over the years. Aunt May's marriage to Dr. Octopus, anyone? But Conway has always been a confident storyteller that knows the value of what he is writing and where it is headed. After the first two arcs of Spiral in Amazing Spider-Man 16.1 and 17.1, I think it is safe to say that Conway's regard for his craft remains just as strong as it was the day he left the book. So as the story continues, it is clear that Spider-Man, especially Peter Parker, is not the main focus of Spiral. Yet again, Captain Watanabe and her alter ego Wraith are caught up in morally dubious deeds centered on channeling her grief into righteous anger and revenge against the gang lords that are trying to take over her precinct. So what other things are reviewing, what other guys are saying, we can mention it in the comments. So hope you guys have liked it, and all of you, thanks for all of your support, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more amazing shows. And to support, just share this video too with your friends, this review, and buy the book, support the creators. Just go to the store and buy this book and enjoy it whole day. Have a great day. Adios.